Welcome to Straight Up Paleo, where we talk all things nutrition straight up. I'm one of your hosts, Christina Rice. I'm a holistic health coach and a nutritional therapy practitioner in training currently living in Los Angeles. I'm also the creator of the health and wellness blog addictedtolovely.com and the host of the Actually Adultish podcast.
And I'm your other host, Kara Halderman. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner from Dallas, Texas, creator of careaboutit.com, and co-host of the Low Carb Conversations podcast. In this podcast, we will be discussing all things paleo, health, and nutrition, along with answering questions straight from you.
If you want to submit a question for us to answer on the podcast, head to straightuppaleo.com or email us at straightuppaleo@gmail.com.
Remember our disclaimer. The materials in this podcast are only to be used for advice and are not to be used in place of general medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
If you want to support the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a rating and a review on iTunes. Enjoy the show! Yo, what up? Happy Thursday!
Happy Thursday, even though it's not Thursday.
I know. I
What's
wish it was.
going on?
Man, okay, it's actually Monday in real life time. I just got back from cooking for a client, doing my private chef stuff, and oh man, I'm kind of tired, but at the same time it was a whole lot of fun, and I ate some dairy. So good times. I don't eat dairy
tonight. Oh God.
I know.
But did it taste good?
It was so good. I made this chicken and broccoli casserole. It was actually the recipe out of Mark Sisson's new book, his keto book. Because my client,
keto reset.
Yeah, she showed me that recipe and she was like, I want you to make this, basically.
Oh.
So, I did, and I hope she likes it. It has pork rinds like as a crust on the top. Yeah.
That sounds so good.
It's super freaking good.
Where did you get the pork rinds?
I got them from Whole Foods, just the Epic brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I saw all your food on your stories. It looked really good.
Sweet,
Those
man.
puddings were
Oh my gosh.
on point. I don't usually want chia pudding, but that made me want it.
I love chia pudding. She's never had chia pudding before, though, so I'm scared she's not going to like it. Because, you know, you either love chia pudding or you hate it.
Okay, am I the only person that makes me super bloated?
No, we've talked about this. I cannot
Okay.
digest chia seeds
Yeah.
to save my life. I cannot.
But it tastes good. So, okay, can we just also, really quick, I've been wanting to bring this up on the podcast.
What's
Can
up?
we just explain to people why putting activated charcoal in food items does not work?
Oh, man. I've
been so upset. Kara, can you just bring this one home? Can we just
I
squash
know
this?
that I've like talked about this briefly on here before, like for a quick second, but it's becoming more and more of a trend to put activated charcoal in everything, like food, lattes, smoothies,
Ice cream.
gummies. Yeah, like ice cream. And activated charcoal is a powerful tool for binding to things and getting them out of the body. It's used in a lot of different protocols, like for mold protocols, or if you have dysbiosis or whatever, it binds to like the bacterial toxins or the mold and helps you facilitate it out of the body. But it doesn't just selectively pick toxins or bacteria. It binds to like a lot of stuff. So it can bind to the nutrients in your food, and then you're like shipping those out of the body. So I don't know about you, but I don't want my nutrients out of that smoothie that I just drank to be in my poop.
Exactly. It's just like pointless.
It defeats the purpose.
Yeah. I just want to put that out there because I've been very irritated with all of. I feel like every single thing I see on Instagram is an activated charcoal latte, an activated charcoal smoothie, an activated charcoal ice cream, and I'm like, okay, whoa.
Whoa,
I mean,
chill.
people need to understand what the purpose of activated charcoal is. It's not just to make things look black and pretty. So
Have you used it before?
I have, yeah. Um, but I don't use it like I mean, I first would use it after bad nights in college when I was drunk.
It does
But
work for
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I honestly haven't used it in like probably a year and a half,
Yeah.
but I think of it as an in emergency situations only sort of thing.
Yeah, or if you're on
But
a
yeah.
specific type of protocol, it could be the only thing that I would say food wise that it'd kind of be okay in my opinion, is a latte. Because, I mean, lattes are just like, almond milk and water, and then they're usually just putting activated charcoal in there. So it's not like you're really eating anything that has
But
nutrients in it.
I just don't like the idea of like I feel like charcoal is really powerful
It
and it's just
is.
like a lot for your system and I just feel like you shouldn't put it in your system for no reason, in
I
my
do
opinion.
agree. I do think people need to understand what activated charcoal is used for before they just go eat it every day. Plus, it can make people really constipated. Just an FYI.
Yeah, it messes up my digestion for sure, which is another reason why I'm like I don't want this unless I have to have it.
Yeah.
I need to get something out of my body, but yeah, so there's that. I'm really tired right now because I just had a whirlwind of a weekend. I went home for my sister's wedding dress shopping adventure, which is really fun. She got a dress. I found a bridesmaid's dress, thank God.
It's
And
really
I saw the
cute.
venue. Yeah, I really like it. But I just feel relieved that that's done and over with. And my sister found her dress at the first shop. I was so
Oh
excited
my
because then
gosh.
we got to cancel the rest of the appointments and it was just I was just great. I was great. It was great. So yeah, and I'm just tired because like I've been leaving like every single weekend and it's really fun. Everything I'm doing is fun, but I'm just not the kind of person that can travel that often because I get back and then I feel like I need the whole week to like recover and like regroup and like catch up and then I have to leave again,
I feel
you know?
you. That
Yeah.
is, I don't think you're alone though. I think like, after a while of traveling, and you've been traveling every weekend almost for
For 2 months.
months. Yeah,
Yeah.
for months. And that can really have some wear and tear on you after a while. I mean, I'll go over to my boyfriend's house, which is like 15 minutes away, for like 2 nights, and I'm already exhausted.
I know there's something about just like not being in your space that's just like exhausting,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
I agree.
I just
Are you
um
back now
yeah, I am.
for like a while?
I'm not leaving again until Christmas. But my friend Addie is coming to visit me next week for Thanksgiving.
Whoop, whoop.
Addie from Chickpea in the City, if you guys follow her. And
So what are you guys
I
making?
oh my God. Okay, I'm making a duck, which I just
Yes.
ordered from Whole Foods today, so that better be in. But I've never cooked a whole duck before. I've only cooked a half, so we'll see how it goes. And my oven is really small, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it all time-wise. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna do green bean casserole. We're gonna do the Brussels sprouts and butternut squash salad from the ebook, and pumpkin pie from the ebook, and one other thing. What
Sweet
else are we doing?
potatoes.
Oh, cauliflower mash with gravy from the ebook.
Oh my God,
Oh,
yum.
guys, if you haven't gotten my Paleo Thanksgiving holiday ebook, get it. It's on my website. It's also at bit.ly/gratitude HHG. Use the code straight up paleo for 20% off. And literally, recipes are so good. Ton of lifestyle stuff about how to handle the holidays. You're gonna love it. So make sure you grab that.
I second that. Go
Yeah.
get it.
Do you know what you're making for Thanksgiving?
Well, every year I go to my family's house in Houston with my dad and my stepmom. And my family, we're really big food people and we cook a lot. And my family's really accommodating over the years. We've basically converted Thanksgiving into gluten-free paleo Thanksgiving, basically.
Yay.
And our family, they just go with it. So we literally have everything. Oh my God. I totally forgot. My uncle is doing a smoked turkey this year.
Oh,
So
that's so good.
oh, it's going to be insane. A smoked turkey with gluten-free stuffing in the bird. We usually have like 3 different types of gluten-free stuffing, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I don't know why we do that. I guess there's a big debate on if you put cranberries in your stuffing or not, and like apples. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that debate, but I know in my family we put apples in the stuffing. I've never heard cranberries in the stuffing though. That's interesting.
I think it's really good, but in my family, everyone likes it like 3 different ways, and we just can't compromise. So we make 3 different stuffings. I make green bean casserole from scratch every year, which is the bomb. And I like fry the onions in cassava flour to make the crispy onions on top so good. And then just all the pies, mashed potatoes. My dad puts like 5 pounds of butter in the mashed potatoes. It's basically butter.
Of course he does.
It's basically butter with a little bit of potato. And then my aunt is making bourbon Hasselback sweet potatoes. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know what that's going to entail. I know, but I'm just really excited. Halderman
I'm
Thanksgiving
excited
goes hard.
I'm excited to see your spread, and I just realized so our next episode will be on Thanksgiving.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so the next one we record, but
We'll
yeah,
have to talk
it's
some
gonna
more
be
about it.
Yeah, we can talk more about it. I don't know. I also was gonna say I think a lot of people can relate. This kind of came up in our Facebook group, Straight Up Paleo Pals, which you guys should join if you haven't already, but talking about just kind of like dealing with Friendsgivings, and I think it all kind of relates to like what do you do when you're the one who eats healthy.
Oh yeah.
And I just figured I would bring this up. Like I'm not doing Thanksgiving with my family this year. And I didn't do it with my family last year either. And honestly, I'm just much more comfortable that way because my food is basically just made fun of, and I feel like I'm not welcome because of my food. And it's just silly that it turns into that, but I share that because I know that not everybody has a super supportive family. So I want you to know if you're in that situation that you're not alone. There's a lot of people who also don't have supportive families, because I get this a lot from people. They think I've heard some of my followers have told me, and it seems like everybody else's family like really supports the way they eat, and mine gives me a hard time. And I just like want people to know that like there are lots of people whose families don't like understand healthy eating or accept it. So know that you're not alone, and you just have to do what you have to do. And like for me this year, that means having Thanksgiving not with my family but with a friend who like likes the same things as me and wants to eat the same way, and like that's what's enjoyable to me. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm excited about it, and that's fine. So just know that like everybody's family is going to respond differently, so don't feel bad or like it's a reflection on you.
Yeah, I agree, and that's good advice. You have to find a way to make it enjoyable for you, and it doesn't have to look like what everybody else's Thanksgiving looks like. Like Christina said, just because everyone, or it looks like everyone, goes with their family and eats doesn't mean that you have to. That also means that you can go to your family Thanksgiving and bring your own food. You can do that. Like I've done that before. I've definitely done that before. And in the beginning of my whole like diet whatever transition from standard American diet to paleo, the majority of my family was not supportive at all. It took them like 4 years to get to this point where we are today. So if you're in that beginning stage, just know that it may get better over time. And I know we've talked about this before on how to deal with friends and family, but there's many ways that you can go about it. And at the end of the day, you just kind of have to do what's best for you and for your health, and what is going to make it easiest on you, and what is going to be most enjoyable as well.
Exactly. And like for a long time, like I brought my own food and it was fine, but I realized last year I couldn't make it home literally for technical reasons, because I had final, like I had a final that day, and so I couldn't go home. So I ended up staying here and going to a friend's house, and it was probably one of the best Thanksgivings I've ever had because they ate like me, and I didn't realize how much that like made it easier.
Yeah.
And much more enjoyable. So I just realized that that's just what I would rather do again to make the holiday better for me. And yeah, it's weird for me because I grew up having every holiday was, our huge family, and it's crazy, and there's 50 million things, and that's fun. It's like when everybody's big family functions are always fun.
They're really crazy.
Yeah. You know what? I'm like, I'll get that for Christmas. That's fine. And I would rather be with my friend this Thanksgiving. So I'm very excited. And it's just funny how things change as you get older, like priorities change.
Yep.
I don't know.
Priorities totally change. But yeah, just kind of find what works best for you. And just know, like Christina said, you're not alone if you don't have supportive family members. We both can relate to that in some way or another. But we do hope that you all have a good Thanksgiving and that you're really hungry, because I'm just really excited. I'm just freaking out over here. Okay. Anyways, we could talk about Thanksgiving for like ever. Do you have any other updates or anything else going on?
Actually, I do. I have one more update. You guys, I just came out with a new ebook that you need.
What?
And yeah.
What? I'm sorry. This is new for me too, guys.
This is dropping like it's hot, and I'll do a straight up, this is literally going out because it hasn't come out yet, but it will be out by the time this episode goes up. It's called, this is like a passion project. I'm like gonna cry. Okay, it's called #NoSugarNoProblems. And
I love that.
An ebook of 30 completely sugar-free, sweetener-free desserts, because I understand what it's like to miss out on the desserts, and especially during this time of year, which is why I wanted to get it out there right now. If you're on a Candida diet or some kind of protocol, low FODMAP, keto, anything, like you can find a dessert in here, and it can taste delicious, and there's no sugar, there's no sweeteners, there's no stevia, no monk fruit, there's no sugar substitutes, and there's no bananas and no dates, so it's keto friendly too. There's only 3 recipes with fruit in it, and the fruits are blueberries, raspberries, and strawberries, so they're all low glycemic, so you could still have that if you're keto. And obviously if you're diabetic, I'm so excited about this and so proud of it, and I really hope it helps a lot of people, because I have been on a Candida protocol for 10 months now, and I understand what it's like to go through a birthday or go through the holidays. My first 2 years ago, I went through the whole holiday season and I didn't have any sugar, and it was so sad to me. And yeah, it's not about food, but at the same time, it's sometimes it is a little bit about food. I wanted to have some cookies, we should be able to have a Christmas cookie,
no shame.
Right? Yeah. And so I'm hoping that this whole book, gives you plenty of options. So it's if you're in this situation, or if you just don't want to have sugar, but still want to treat, you can get this ebook and just pull something out of there. I have cake, I have cookies, I have ice cream, I have crumbles, I have everything that you want. I have brownies, and there's no sweetener. But it still tastes
another
delicious.
Ebook that I have to buy now.
Yeah.
Because,
so
I look everywhere for desserts that are truly sugar-free. When we say sugar-free, truly sugar-free, no dates, no bananas, no stevia. I look for those, and those don't really exist. They just don't.
Yeah, because if you Google sugar-free desserts, everything will be labeled sugar-free, but it still has dates, bananas, or stevia, or xylitol, or erythritol. All the bulletproof products, they still have xylitol or erythritol in it. And it's what if I don't want a sweetener substitute? I just want all natural food, And they're obviously all paleo, obviously. So, and there's a ton of vegan options as well. And I think everything can be made vegan as well.
So cool.
So,
aww,
yeah.
this
I'm
is so
really,
great.
really,
I love
I'm
that.
really proud of it. Yeah,
You
so
should be.
you guys should definitely check it out, and you can go to my website to grab it. So
I
I
love it.
definitely recommend. So yeah, that's my update. Woohoo!
Yay. I'm so
So,
happy.
do you have any other updates?
Just like personal life update. Um, I'm on a new protocol.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm on a new
Uh,
protocol and I went down a major research rabbit hole the other night. We always joke about going down the Google rabbit hole. Oh man, it was bad. It was for so long because I've been working with my functional medicine doctor. I worked for him for a while and he was actually working with me to help me sort through some stuff. I was on an intense gut protocol for a while, and then we moved into my adrenal protocol. Typically, the way he does it is we actually do adrenal protocols first and then the gut protocol. I know that's like backwards, and we'll actually kind of talk about that a little bit in our first question today. I don't want to go into too much depth about it, but now I'm starting my adrenal protocol, and for me, that involves taking bioidentical hormones.
why don't
And
you? I think that some people might not know what that means.
yeah, okay. So there's two types of hormone type treatments. There's HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, and then there's bioidentical hormones. Hormone replacement therapy is basically synthetic hormones like your birth control, which are synthetic estrogens, and stuff like that, or testosterone or whatever. That they're synthetic though. And then there's bioidentical hormones, and these are hormones that are derived from either soy or wild yams, and the difference is they're not synthetic. They're coming from wild yams, and because they're coming from wild yams, their structure is actually identical, hint bioidentical, the word bioidentical, to our actual body's hormone structure. So our body can start to recognize it as one of our own instead of a synthetic foreign object. But there's so much debate about bioidentical hormones. It's very two-sided. It's either you believe in them or you don't. Some people say that you should not take bioidentical hormones because it prevents your body from creating its own hormones. But then the other side says because they are bioidentical hormones, it actually teaches your body to create its own hormones because they look exactly like your hormones. So it's a heated debate, and I went down the research rabbit hole the other night to try and figure out what would work best for me. And I'm just going to follow the advice of my FMD because everything I saw actually supported what he was doing. So we're going to have to see how this goes. I've been doing it for like a week.
How long will you be on them?
For me, he told me I should probably do it for 6 months. And then I gradually decrease the doses until I just completely get off of them.
Damn, it's a long road.
It is a long road, but you know, people want to get healthy real quick, and I recognize that this is not a quick fix. And that's the other thing, people say that bioidentical hormones, people use them for a quick fix, but bioidentical hormones aren't even a quick fix.
Yeah.
It's a long road for those two, and the truth is, like, you can have a picture perfect diet and sometimes your hormones they're still off. Like I've done hormone testing for DHEA, progesterone, testosterone, estrogens, all of that, like 3 times now over the past 2.5 years, and they're the same. Like nothing has improved. So sometimes you need a little bit extra help, and it may not be for everyone, but we'll see if it works for me. Who knows?
I'm excited for you.
Thanks.
Hopefully it goes well. You'll have to keep us updated.
Yeah.
Any weird side effects? If you start turning into an alien.
Basically, I mean, my skin's breaking out, but I just went too high on the DHEA, which I'm taking DHEA, and that's like a classic symptom of taking DHEA. People just break out all over. But that usually means you're taking too high of a dose and your body just like can't absorb it. And also DHEA is a male hormone or an androgen, so it can create like oily skin for some girls and cause breakouts. I don't know. Bioidenticals are weird. I'm probably going to go back down the research rabbit hole again.
No, don't, because you already decided to start.
I know. Well, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. Once you start, there's no turning back.
Story of our lives, you guys. Kara and I, literally all we do is research things we shouldn't be researching.
It's true. And then we blow each other's phones up.
I know, with all these like conspiracy theories about health and nutrition.
Oh my God. I was just about to say, oh my God, I was just about to say we should start a podcast.
Yeah, we should. We have one, but yeah, if you guys saw our text, you'd be like, what are these girls doing? They're so weird. Yeah, but
we're crazy. Okay.
Okay, let's start this.
First question.
We got some good cues, and this first question I'm very excited about because it's about SIBO, and I am like a SIBO expert.
She really is. Christina loves the SIBO.
If there's one thing I've been down the research rabbit hole on, probably most of my research, my researching late night 5 a.m. things has been about SIBO in my life. So let's do this. Okay. Hey guys. So since December, I've been on herbal antimicrobials to eradicate SIBO. I did 2 rounds, 1 month each, of allicin, neem, berberine, and oregano oil. I was also on a no sugar, no carb diet since July of 2016. Just meat, mostly low FODMAP veggies, and some nuts if I could tolerate them, which got rid of my SIBO, but also made my HPA dysfunction worse. Since those rounds, I've been taking only oregano on a daily basis. Otherwise, my symptoms would come back. Currently, there is still some dysbiosis in my lower intestine, so at this point I'm trying to crowd it out with good bacteria by taking probiotics, eating some probiotic foods, and slowly reintroducing FODMAPs. At the same time, I will be taking 1 antimicrobial at a time, rotating every 2 weeks so I don't build resistance. My issue right now is that the antimicrobials are making me gain weight, and they are making my blood sugar unstable. After the rounds, I successfully introduced some carbs into my diet to keep my weight up after being super underweight for malabsorption. But now I'm 15 pounds overweight, and to be honest, I really don't care about what I look like. I just want to feel better. And this extra weight doesn't feel good or healthy, and I just feel heavier and not myself. I've done some research but can't find much about it, and I mentioned it to my naturopath, but we didn't have a lot of time to discuss it. I'm currently transitioning back to lower carb because I feel better on it, but I want to be mindful to still be getting enough calories. As far as exercise, I do a lot of walking and some yoga, but beyond that, I don't want to make my adrenal dysfunction worse. Okay, this was way too long, but I just wanted to give you my background. My question is, what are your thoughts on whether I should be intervening on the weight gain or not? Is it normal to be gaining so much from the antimicrobials? And should I be reducing calories or carbs or doing something else to balance things out? Or should I not worry about it and just focus on clearing the remaining bacteria? And yeah, she says that she loves us and we love you too. So thank you, Molly. Okay, Molly. Woo! Kara, do you want to start this one?
I've got several different points. I want to touch on a little bit what I was just saying about treating the adrenals before treating the gut. So Molly has SIBO, basically. And the traditional protocol of everything, if you're a nutritionist or you're just online in the sphere, you know,
if you're on the internet,
if you're human, basically, whatever, you'll see that the first thing that everyone tells you is to fix the gut. And that is just a widely held belief in the nutrition and natural space. And I do agree to that to some point. But since I've been actually working for my functional medicine doctor, and this is also a widely accepted approach in the functional medicine space, but I'm not an expert on functional medicine. Let me make that very clear. I just worked for an FMD and I learned a lot from him that changed the way that I work with people and the way that I see things. So what he did is, even if people had gut infections, we usually started an adrenal protocol first. And what that does is that actually prevents things like this from happening. So antimicrobials can be very, very stressful on some people's bodies. You're taking a lot of oregano oil. the berberine, the neem, you're on it for a while, and you said that it made your HPA dysfunction worse. So that indicates that it was probably already bad to begin with. And then you went on this very stressful low FODMAP, which is mentally stressful and physically stressful because you're going to have a lot of die-off going on. You're taking a lot of very strong herbs as well, and this can cause a lot of stress on the adrenals, and it can make things even worse and exacerbate your, or is that the word?
Exacerbate, yeah.
That word is so weird to me. Anyways, but it can make your symptoms worse. Basically, it can make your adrenals even worse, and it can actually like tank your hormones or drive your cortisol up really, really high because you're just in this chronic stress state. So honestly, I'm at this point where I've seen so many people thrive on actually doing an adrenal protocol first to help stabilize the adrenals a little bit, and then for a couple months, and then go on the herbal protocol for the gut, so you're a little bit more stable and you're not just going to freak out and go out of control. I think that the weight gain is just kind of a side effect of your adrenals being shot from all of the stress that you went through from this protocol. I think there's probably a little bit more to that as well, but I actually went through that same thing myself when I went on a lot of herbals. Like I said, we treated my gut first and not my adrenals, and I did gain weight and a lot of puffiness. But then once I geared towards the end of that protocol, it like went away once I started addressing my adrenals a little bit more. So honestly, the first thing I would start to do right now is look into helping your adrenals with some supplementation and lifestyle factors. And I'm not really the biggest adaptogen fan in the whole world. I do recognize that they're really amazing for a lot of people, but I always think number one, the first thing needs to be blood sugar regulation through food. So you need to make sure that your food is balanced. I know you got in some carbohydrates there, which is great. Nothing against carbs. But if you feel better with lower carbs, that may help balance your blood sugar also a little bit more, just reducing the starches, maybe to like 1 serving a day, upping your fat and getting plenty of non-starchy veggies, just making sure your blood sugar is super balanced. That's going to help you with adrenals a lot. And then I would suggest adding in some adaptogens in your case on top of that. I don't know your specific hormone profile, so I don't want to really give you any recommendations necessarily on adaptogens, because some lower cortisol levels, some help raise cortisol levels. But one that my FMD consistently uses for a lot of women is maca. But I would just be careful of where you're getting the maca. That's all I have to say. Really make sure it's professional grade and highly absorbable. Powdered maca is not really going to give you that same effect that you need for hormone balancing, but that would be my first area to work on, is adrenals through balancing blood sugar, maybe some adaptogens, and then working on your overall lifestyle. Sounds like your exercise is good and dialed in, but maybe doing long walks and whatnot to kind of help chill out the adrenals. And it may take a while to bounce back to normal, especially since it sounds like the SIBO didn't go away, because you still have symptoms if you don't take the oregano. But anyways, now I'm rambling. I'm gonna throw to you.
I mean, I think to answer the direct question, I think that Kara and I both agree, no, I don't think you should be doing anything to intervene with your weight right now, because right now your weight is just a symptom of what's going on, and your weight is related to your adrenals and your gut. Both of those can have huge impacts on weight gain. So I wouldn't be doing anything that you would be doing to try and intervene on that was just going to stress your body out more. So I would just work on adrenals and gut and let the weight balance out. So yeah, I wouldn't be worrying about that. But kind of going back to what Kara said, addressing the adrenals and like lifestyle, I mean, I feel like this protocol is stressing you out, and like your life on this protocol is probably stressful, or this would stress me out. And I'm just looking at this from the perspective of like, I guess I'm curious about your naturopath's protocol that you're on, because it doesn't seem to have gotten rid of the SIBO. You shouldn't need to because basically what you're saying is like, if you go off the oregano, then your symptoms just come back. Like, you can't just live your whole life on on herbals.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
not sustainable.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like we do need to clear this SIBO. And going back to also what Kara said, like the low FODMAP diet. I mean, I know that's like the standard textbook like diet that you go on for SIBO. I personally approach it pretty differently. From personal experience, I got much worse on the low FODMAP diet because it was so stressful for me. And as soon as I just switched to something less restrictive like SCD, I got way better and my SIBO went away. So I did once the traditional low FODMAP route and didn't work. And then I did once SCD and it worked. And I purely attribute that to the stress of that diet. And I mean, as more and more research is coming out about SIBO, I mean, the experts are even saying, low FODMAP is like what they turned to because that was the best answer they had at the time. But now they're seeing like it's not all rooted in diet. Like, I think that when you're in that situation, you want to just be able to control your diet and have that fix it, but that's not how it works. So I kind of have that. And also, we were talking about this earlier. I mean, this is something that I see over and over again, people getting treated the wrong way. So at the beginning of your protocol, you should be eating high FODMAPs so that all your little gut bugs are out and crawling and proliferating, and then there's something for everything to kill. Because if you immediately eat low FODMAP, which is what a lot of doctors do, and it doesn't make any sense. If you just immediately go low FODMAP and then start taking herbals, or say you take antibiotics, it's not all of the bacteria is out and about, so it can't kill it all because it's, you're suppressing it. You want all the bacteria to be out so that it can really eradicate everything. So that could be a reason why it's not going away. And I mean, yeah, like you did a really long, intense herbal protocol, and that is like really stressful on your body. I think it's kind of like time to take a step back. And also it's like you shouldn't be on oregano oil long term forever.
Oh no.
No. I don't know if your practitioner has talked to you about prokinetics. This is another area where a lot of practitioners go wrong, is like you should be switched over to a prokinetic to increase your GI motility, and like, I mean, you would move to that. You wouldn't just stay on oregano oil on a daily basis, because that is just gonna cause more problems long term. Like, you can't live your whole life on that.
That's a really good point too, because SIBO with the prokinetics as well, because SIBO, a lot of people, they have issues with their ileocecal valve, which is the little what's that called? Little tiny tube that connects your small intestine to your large intestine. And some people with SIBO, the ileocecal valve doesn't like function normally, basically. So there's bacteria getting back up into the small intestine from the large intestine. So taking a prokinetic actually ensures that you, like Christina said, you have motility. You're moving through the small intestine to the large intestine, so you're clearing out that bacteria. And she's right. Like, practitioners are missing that part of the prokinetic, not just the herbals.
Yeah, I also wonder, like, did she say how long all this is going on? My other thing is, like, I'm wondering where your thyroid is at and if that's related to the weight gain.
We're literally on the same page.
Yeah, I'm wondering if being low carb for too long is causing these other problems. I'm wondering if is your practitioner addressing leaky gut at the same time? Have you addressed leaky gut? Do you have inflammation from food intolerances from that? Like, there are so many different factors, and other things you could be doing, that you should be addressing. And the SIBO isn't going to go away when your body is under stress from all these other things.
Yeah. I I completely agree. I think there's a lot here that's going on, and I almost urge you to like see a functional medicine doctor over a naturopath. I know a lot of people, not I don't know who your naturopath is. Could be an amazing practitioner, but I know a lot of people that have gone to see a naturopath and like their SIBO never fully goes away because they're not addressing like all of the components of your body at one time. They're just focusing on the infection and then they're like, that's it, kind of. And they're not addressing, like you said, the fact that leaky gut still be there. Is there food intolerances? Your adrenals are probably not in a very good place right now as well. But she did say, going back to the low carb thing, she did say that she increased carbs to keep her weight up. I think that's what she said. She introduced carbs to keep her weight up after being super underweight from malabsorption, but now she's 50 pounds overweight. 15, not 50. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's just interesting to me, I guess. I just find that more interesting than anything. I don't think you necessarily need to cut out your carbohydrates, but if you physically feel better from reducing the carbohydrates, then that's totally fine too. I wonder if you have started reintroducing FODMAPs or not.
Yeah, she said she did, right? She said she started to reintroduce them. Yeah, she said eating some probiotic foods and slowly reintroducing FODMAPs. This is the thing, though. It's like, if your SIBO is still there, oh wait, she said she did get rid of her SIBO. But then I'm confused. Then why is it that you're saying that you have to take oregano on a daily basis or your symptoms come back?
I think maybe
then there's something else going on.
Yeah, I was going to say there's something else going on. She said that she thinks there's some dysbiosis like in her colon or something like that, which, could be true. You probably do have some other form of dysbiosis going on, especially after you took all those herbals. Sometimes it can cause dysbiosis in other areas. So I think what you're doing is good about like reintroducing the foods, the probiotic foods, trying to reintroduce your FODMAPs and all of that. But there probably is something else going on still within the gut. Either SIBO is not completely actually gotten rid of, or you need to increase like your motility once again so that bacteria is not getting up into your small intestine as well. There's just a lot of things that could potentially be going on here. Did you have any thoughts about
I just don't like the idea of like taking oregano every day or my symptoms come back. Like, we need to move away from that, and like that shouldn't be the long-term solution. It makes me nervous because I know some doctors who like say that literally because they don't know how to fix the rest, that is a Band-Aid approach to me. I really think that you need to be on a prokinetic, and I think that you need to figure out exactly what's going on in your gut. I think you should take a stool test, figure out if there's something else going on. But I agree. And I do think that if the weight gain does not like subside, or if it keeps going up and maybe you don't physically feel as good, I would really encourage you to get a full thyroid panel, because with gut issues and adrenal issues combined, you're more susceptible to your thyroid taking a hit or even developing autoimmune disease as well. So I would just really keep that in mind. And if you start to feel worse and your weight gain gets worse, then please check your thyroid. Yeah, I also just want to say something about the carbs, because this is the truth of it. Somebody who has SIBO is just more susceptible to it the rest of their life. Like, SIBO is something where it's like you can't get rid of it and then expect to just go back to eating whatever you want and it's gone. Like, you are more prone to it. So it's like people who have SIBO, do need to live like a lower carb lifestyle, like
So like what's lower carb?
long term. And to me, that doesn't mean like no carbs, but it's like I don't think somebody who had SIBO should be having a starchy carbohydrate with every meal.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean by that. Like, I would keep it to like lunch and dinner, like dinner and snack. Like, I would just sort of like be mindful of it because it can come back really easily. I mean, I'm in that like I'm in that boat. I know if I go too high carb, it'll come back. Like, so, but I also do think it's important to like not be afraid of carbohydrates. You know, you can definitely include them in your diet. That's just not going to be the base of your diet.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my thought on that. I just want to bring that up so people are aware.
Cool.
And I also want people to understand that doesn't mean that you have to be ketogenic. Okay? Like, so, but it's just like being aware of that.
This is random, but this is another thing that like grinds my gears. Like, you don't have to be keto to eradicate gut infection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it can make it worse.
You do not have to be keto to eradicate parasites, SIBO, gut infection, etc. This is a big misconception. Ever since like keto came out and blew up, they're saying it's the best protocol ever for gut infection. And for some people, it's freaking awesome. And it makes everything so much easier and so much more smooth. For other people, it's beneficial to keep carbohydrates in and FODMAPs in too. So like Christina was saying earlier, so the parasite, the bacteria, whatever, has something to feed on, so it is all like centralized in that area, so then your herbals can go in and kill it. And yeah, you don't necessarily have to be low carb or keto, but you can be low carb and it still work.
Yeah, and you have to remember like low carb compared to like regular America, like
if you're paleo, you're like basically low carb already.
Paleo is naturally low carb. Like, you know, you can definitely be high carb paleo, but like paleo is naturally low carb. I just, I don't know.
Well, okay, closing thoughts for Molly.
My thoughts are like, you need to ask your person about a prokinetic, like, and we need to get away from this. I'm going to be on oregano oil the rest of my life. I think you need to eat in a way that is not stressful for you. Like, if eating carbohydrates is like stressful for you, then like don't eat them. If being low carb, low FODMAP is stressful, don't do low carb, low FODMAP. Yeah. I recommend SCD to people, specific carbohydrate diet. And I think that Kara is right about your adrenal support. You need to support your adrenals because, girl, after that, I would be stressed and shot too. And I don't think you need to worry about the weight right now. I think you need to worry about adrenals, thyroid, SIBO, gut, those things. And like weight will naturally come when health comes.
Yeah. Basically, you're holding on to weight right now because your body is protecting itself. You're going through a really stressful period. Like, this is super stressful on your body, and you have to just, I think you have a really good mindset though, because you're saying that like you're fine with the weight that you've gained, which is good. But I don't understand what you would be doing to intervene on your weight. Like, you asked if you should be intervening on the weight gain or not. And like, what does that mean? You know, like, what would you be doing differently? Eating less or exercising harder? Those things are not going to help you at all when it comes to your overall health right now. So I think, we've covered everything. Basically, just adrenals, eat enough food, focus on your gut, and keep your positive mindset because your body is in like super protective mode right now. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to read the next one?
Let's do it. I just took a sip of my sparkling water, so give me a sec. It's lemon flavored.
In a wine glass.
Oh, yeah. It's delicious. Okay, this question is from Haley. Haley is 20 years old, and she asks, I would like to know what option you two... Oh, she said option, but I think she meant opinion.
Yeah,
I
she
would
meant
like... Whoops. I would like to know what opinion you two hold about fasting, also losing your period, because to be honest, I haven't had my period for almost around 4 years, and I'm just hopeless at this point. She says, in regards to the period question, I eat a ton and I track, so I know I'm probably eating enough. I really don't work out crazy. I follow Maps Red from Mind Pump. She doesn't eat completely paleo, but I usually eat close as possible. I try to eat veggies with fats and well-sourced meat. Why are you laughing?
Because I feel like this is so, like, my response is so sassy because I'm like, she wants to know what opinion we hold about fasting.
We could answer this in like 2 seconds if you want.
Also losing, no, it's like, what's your opinion about fasting? Also losing your period. I'm like, well, if you're fasting and you lost your period, that's probably why. She's also 20, okay? So let's just put this in context. Can I just, like, say everything I need to say? Okay, also, she goes, in regards to the period question, I eat a ton and I track, so I know I'm probably eating enough. Okay. This is, I'm sorry, but don't trust yourself here, because this is what everybody says to me, and I think that pretty much every single person I've ever worked with says the same thing, and they're not eating enough.
Why are you tracking in the first place, though?
Yeah, exactly. Which, it's like, it makes me, if she's somebody who's wondering about fasting, tracking,
she's probably restricting.
She's probably restricting in some way and is probably eating. She probably thinks that she's eating enough based on, like, what she sees in social media. There is, like, maybe 1% of people on the internet, I think, show, like, realistic, like, how much to be eating. I mean, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. So if I were you, I wouldn't assume that you're eating enough. I wonder, did she say, okay, you haven't had your period in almost 4 years. Okay, that's a long time. It's a long time. And you're 20. So you lost it when you're 16. I'm wondering what was going on when you lost it.
Yeah.
To get your period back, you gotta eat a lot. You gotta eat more than you're comfortable with. It's not just about eating enough, it's about eating more than enough. Eating anytime you're hungry. And I mean, I know the exercise is controversial. I would say if you're actually following, I don't know which one red is from Mind Pump. I don't know which one's red, but
I don't either.
I think that if you're doing weights 3 times a week, I personally think that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a different story if I know, like, the Mind Pump guys aren't about, like, cardio, which is, like, what I worry about with people with amenorrhea. Like, if you're just, like, running on the treadmill, that would be a no, but you're not, so I really think that you're fine with that. But I mean that you need to eat even more if you're lifting weights. Okay, the fasting. Okay. I'll say my piece and then you can say yours.
Okay.
I'm not generally a fan. I think that in specific cases it can be really helpful. I think that it's also a completely different story depending on, well, your health scenario and, like, how old you are, and if you're a man or a woman. I'm really not a fan of fasting for women. I don't think we were really designed to fast. I think men were designed to fast, and their hormones don't get screwed up as easily as ours. And if you think about it, men were out hunting and they didn't know if they were going to get food for days. We were sitting there gathering and chilling, and we had food. We weren't designed to just, like, fast, in my opinion. And I just see that, I mean, a lot of the benefits that have been scientifically in studies shown, like, they apply to men but don't apply to women often in the research. I just think it can cause more harm than good. I don't know. And I definitely don't think anybody should be fasting if it doesn't come naturally. Like, if it's like you're trying to force a fast and, like, you feel hungry, I don't think that you're in a space where you should ever be fasting.
Yeah. Basically. I agree. I'm pretty synonymous with that. I'm going to give you guys a resource that is amazing about women and fasting. So go to YouTube and Google Dr. Justin Marchigiani, intermittent fasting for women. Or even if you just go to his YouTube channel is Justin Health. His name is Dr. Justin Marchigiani. He's an awesome FMD, and he has amazing resources on YouTube. He gives a very, very good, detailed explanation as to why intermittent fasting for women may not be good in some cases regarding hormones. And he also tells you how to do intermittent fasting correctly for a woman. But most of the times, if women are having issues with their hormones or issues with their adrenals, I never, ever tell them to fast. I tell them they need to focus on 3 meals a day and something that I call the 30 and 30 rule, which is 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes to an hour of waking up. This immediately in the morning is going to stabilize your adrenals and make sure you have all of your essential amino acids that you need. And it really ensures from the get-go that you're not under eating. A lot of people just like wake up and they go about their day, and before they know it, it's been like 4 hours and they haven't eaten anything. And you're kind of already intermittent fasting in that form. So if you can just get a bunch of food in when you wake up and just focus on 3 square meals a day and maybe even more, that would be best regarding food. Once again, make sure that your blood sugar is really balanced here. Blood sugar is important, so we need balanced macros, or maybe in your case, we may need a little bit more fat on the plate as well. So I don't know how much fat you're eating and all of that, but I am worried, even though you say you track, so I know I'm eating a ton or eating enough. Why were you tracking in the first place? I just suspect you might be restricting a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
what's your standard for enough is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I just want to know what your enough is. But no, I don't think you should be fasting. I do think fasting is very powerful for a lot of people that are at a metabolic disadvantage. And people, I don't know. I just think it's a dude thing. I just think it's a dude thing.
You have to understand that fasting is a stressor on your body.
It
okay?
is.
So like if you are somebody who is stressed out in some way, you shouldn't be fasting, in my opinion. For the hormonal reasons, like you will put your hormones more out of balance. People who should not be, I don't think that women of reproductive age should be fasting, my opinion.
She's like 20 years old. I don't really think 20-year-olds like need to fast.
Especially if you don't have your period.
Yeah.
Like if you have amenorrhea, you should not be fasting. I think that, and if you have a history of disordered eating, which is, I'm wondering if you do, because you lost your period when you were 16 and you track. I don't think that anybody who has a history of an eating disorder should fast, personally. I think that fasting, this is a bigger issue. I think that fasting is another thing like keto that has just become popularized, and people don't even really understand what it is or what they're doing. And it's a trend. And I think that fasting has become a way for many people to justify under eating.
Yeah.
And to justify,
and it's true.
And to justify eating disorders, and that's just not gonna fly with me. It's just not,
Tell it how it is.
I am. I mean, it's just not gonna, like, you can, and I think that even people, I think way too many people are doing that. Even people you wouldn't think. I think that men use it. I think that men use it as a way to justify that as well.
Interesting. Scandalous.
Just gonna right now, yeah.
Scandalous, but yeah, fasting.
Because this is the thing that people don't do, is this is what they don't understand. If you're gonna fast properly, then in your eating window, you eat the same amount. You just have to push it into that eating window. And people think that means, oh, I don't eat breakfast, so I just don't eat breakfast, and they cut their calories. Now you've just double stressed your body.
That's the issue with fasting. Like, that is the main issue is. And once you push yourself to fast, you're not hungry. Like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the ketones you may be producing, but you're just not hungry. And so you naturally eat less. And as a woman, this is a problem. And like Christina said, you need to eat the same amount. You need to eat 3 meals a day in your fasting window. And for a lot of people, that's really hard. So just don't do it. Just don't fast.
Yeah. And if you're one of these people who uses fasting as an excuse to only eat twice a day and like reduce your calories, then guess what you've done? You've downregulated your metabolism and like you're stuck in that hole. If you ever try and raise your calories again, you're going to gain weight. I don't know about everybody else. I'm the kind of person who like I just want to be able to eat as much food as I like eating.
Same.
And I don't ever want to downregulate my metabolism. I like food. So also, if you like food, then, I mean, I don't know. You're like stuck in that hole. And I see a lot of women doing that to themselves, especially older women, like middle-aged women who are trying to lose weight. And they like get into this fasting thing. They think it's the answer. And then they cut their calories. And then they feel like it's just back into that cycle of the under eating. And then they freak out because once they start eating a little bit more, they gain weight. And that makes them scared, so then they cut their calories even more. And now you're down to what, 600 calories a day, and you see no way out? Your only way out is to just eat more food and gain all the weight in order to restore your metabolism. And like, just don't get yourself into that hole. Just don't.
Yeah. You pretty much said everything that I need to say about fasting. I just really want to stress that video again. Like, it blew my mind when I saw it. Just please go to his YouTube channel and watch it.
Can we link it in the show notes?
Yes. Duh. That's why show notes exist. So I'm going to link it in the show notes. And I'm probably going to mention it on my Instagram too, because I think more women need to understand what's going on in their body regarding their hormones when they're fasting. And he explains it way better than I ever could. Maybe, no, I just had a thought. We'll save that for later. Anyways, but just go watch it. It's really important to understand what's going on. I know fasting is like glamorized right now, and it's like the end all be all, the cure, whatever, and helps everything, but it's just not true. It does not help everything. And if you're a woman with adrenal dysfunction or hormone dysfunction, eat all the food and keep your blood sugar nice and balanced.
Yeah, and we don't want this to come across as like we're anti-fasting. That's not it. It's the thing is, it's a tool. It's a therapeutic tool, and we know that most of our audience is not the population that this would be the tool for.
Yeah.
Most of our audience are women who have hormonal imbalances, because that's just the way 95% of America is at this point. So yeah, for that population, generally not a good idea. Does that mean that there's but that we also understand that there are a ton of benefits to it for certain people. But if you're not one of those people, you shouldn't do it. This just goes back to the thing, like, just because something is healthy or helpful for one person, it does not mean it works for everybody, and it could be detrimental to somebody else. So,
yep. Basically, I mean, I've tried fasting. Didn't go so well. That's all I gotta say.
Hashtag regrets.
Hashtag regret. Literally everything that we were just talking about down regulating your metabolism, not eating enough food, hormones going crazy, literally happened to me. So don't be like me and eat food. I'm not against fasting. Yeah, I'm not against it. But for our audience, for the majority of the people listening to this, it's probably not the best option yet. I think once you're able to stabilize your adrenals a little bit more and you have very steady blood sugar, like you can go like 5 hours without being hungry, like in between your meals, and you feel great and awesome, and like your sex hormones are rocking, and you don't have like crazy estrogen imbalances, like, yeah, then you can start experimenting with fasting. Fasting can be really great for the gut too, and I know that's a reason a lot of people incorporate like intermittent fasting because it gives your gut a break, and I do agree with that. That's why I got into it in the first place, was because I felt less bloated when I was fasting, but I pushed it too long. I think a 12-hour overnight intermittent fast is pretty standard and good, because that does give your digestion a break. and you're not just crowding it with food all the time. So if you want to do a standard like 12-hour overnight fast, I think that's chill. Just make sure that you're eating your 3 meals a day and it's pretty sustainable, and most people already do that already, and it's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, agreed. I just especially like I take this one to heart because I worry about her amenorrhea. Amenorrhea is a sign that your body is really stressed because it like it doesn't want you to have a baby, basically. Right? So
Yeah.
adding more stress to that stress pot is not going to help you. Your priority should be getting your period back.
Yeah,
in my
I wonder
opinion.
like what if she has any other type of symptoms going on,
Yeah.
or if she's
Well,
on like birth control or anything like that. Maybe
I
she
know
would have said that, but
I feel like she would have said that, but
I need to
yeah.
know
So
more.
those are our thoughts on fasting. I think that we probably should wrap up. Do you think we should?
I agree. It looks like
Yeah.
we've hit our hour mark, but we have some good questions for next time that
Yeah,
we
we'll
didn't get
save this.
to.
Yeah, we'll save it for next time. But I think we covered a lot of important things I'm passionate about.
Yeah, I liked this episode. It was good. Talked about a lot of stuff from SIBO to fasting to adrenals. We got you covered.
Yeah. We thought about doing a whole. Oh, we've gotten a lot of questions about fasting, and so thought about doing just like a fasting episode. But honestly, that's all I have to say about it.
So guys, do me a favor. Go join our Facebook group. Why did I forget it? Straight Up Paleo Pals. Duh. And if you want to hear like an expert or a guest come on and talk about fasting, let us know. We may or may not do it. We were kind of talking about it before, but if that's something that you're interested in, go join our Facebook group and like start a thread or comment on somebody's something and tell us that you want to see that, or, add us on the IG, the Instagram, and let us know that you want to see that too. You can also email us at straightuppaleo@gmail.com, because fasting is good for some and it's not good for others, and it would be kind of cool to have an expert come on and chat a little bit more about it. So let us know if you're interested.
Yeah, and even if you don't care about fasting, keep sending in questions. You can submit them on our little contact form on our website, straightuppaleo.com. And yeah, you can talk about whatever you want in our Facebook group because it's the best. So we might have to do a little holiday giveaway in there soon.
Boop, boop. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I love
Yeah,
the
and next
holidays.
time we talk to you guys, it'll be Thanksgiving. So I hope that this week you are excited for Thanksgiving. And if you don't know what to do, buy my holiday ebook because it's the best. Hashtag gratitude. Yeah, so thanks again for joining us this week. It was a pleasure. We hope you learned something that has changed your life. And we will talk to you guys again next week. Bye.
Peace.